Greetings, I am Lies, and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal, and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together!
Yeah!
Alrighty, welcome back. We are right here at the beginning of this premium scene option.
Woohoo!
And, of course, Kohai, who would like to spend all the time in the world with Asra, is going to say we have time right now. Also, just for character other than, yeah, I just want you, and like you, and want to be around you. It's very much a Kohai has very little attachment and knowledge about the idea of leaving with Asra and any urgency associated with it, because he hasn't explained anything. And while there is this sense of it's not good somehow, there's very little sense of urgency other than, oh no, we need to go back.
Remember how I said that in the last episode, that Astra's really bad at conveying anything at all? And we're like,
So Kohai would be like, yeah, sure, you want to go back, but, like, we do have time now. Like, we're right here, it's okay.
And he could be sad and mopey, but the thing is Asra never explains anything about his boots, so you just kind of wait until Asra goes, it's enough, and then you actually leave, because he's very...
He's kind of directed everything.
Again, he's very non-committal, and it's very frustrating in that way, but also really interesting, because this is not a go-getter character.
And additionally, he is also, as I said, very much the one directing the scenarios. Kohai isn't going, hey, I want to do this, hey, let's go to this place, hey, what do you think of this? Kohai is very reactive, or the MC is very reactive in this route. At any rate...
which sounds consistent based on all of their writing.
I'll say, due to and or compliant with our agreement with Nix Hydra, we will not be showing you any of the images or text in this scene, and we will be ad-libbing rather than reading, so you know what's going on, but you don't hear exactly what they say. And we're about to just get into it. We have some beautiful cover-up art that we have not yet seen.
Yes, and we will show it to ourselves, so we will be talking about stuff that you're like, what the hell does this have to do with the picture? We will only be on the same page at the very end of the scene.
Yeah, so you'll see it as soon as we cut into the scene, and then we'll see it at the end and we'll react.
Yes.
Because it's not edited in.
Because our lovely artist, Draconisha, did this art for us. And if you want to go check them out, please feel free to check out their links in the description below.
Yes. All right. We have time now.
Same thing.
And then Kohai repeats the line as we enter the scene. And
I was hoping to...
You cannot read lines.
Oh, I'm not reading lines. Asra's going like, excuse me, I have this like, oh my god, you read my mind.
My preference was totally that.
I was believing that you will be able to read my mind. I will know, because I do not communicate anything. Good job, apprentice, you understand? I mean, not apprentice.
And then,
I imagine, honestly, at some goddamn point, okay, this is me just postulating.
Okay.
But, like, I imagine at some stupid fucking point, because that was such a big deal for the thing with Asra, like, at one point, there's gonna be some stupid line, whether it's another character or something like that, that somebody's gonna go, what is your relationship to Asra? And we're gonna go, well, we're not his apprentice.
Right.
You know?
I'm not an apprentice.
I at least know that, even though I keep falling into it, because
he
literally keeps talking to me as though I am.
I don't know what I am, but I know what I am not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, good. And then,
And then Asra's like, oh, that's fantastic, basically. It's like, you know what? But it's really reasonable anyhow, because, you know, sleep is good for you. Because if we didn't sleep, we'd have a bad time. We're
gonna need some downtime before we do this anyway, as a good thoughty idea.
Yeah.
And then Kohai explains that Asra makes it dark inside.
Yeah, he takes the
cabin.
little, I don't know if it's specifically oil, but he has a device.
He has
he specifically turns
that
the key.
he dims.
Either he like magically turns it down, or uses probably a key. Because
Doesn't
I'm
indicate
guessing.
at all. It's just he dims the lights.
And it's a specific color, like it's in the violet range, which I would have not. Ever.
We have never heard about this light before, or that it is this color, but now it being dimmed for what?
And also then it's full body flop back onto sleeping area.
Yeah, and Asra, after making the whole room dim and atmospheric with mood lighting, then just plops onto the sleep place.
Yep, and then because it's so dark, and you're probably still standing, you hear the noise of Asra de-shoeing himself, except for like, Asra apparently doesn't have, like, sandals. Like, for some reason, my brain is like, he either has, like, little sandals, or probably, because I have actually seen his full body sprite.
That he wears a similar type of footwear to, like, Julian. The type that is tall above the ankle, covers the foot fully, that, you know, you slide up and on.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is, or you at least like tie on, but it's like big. I'm just
Like I
like,
said,
that is a specific style of
up high.
shoe that I would have not expected out of him.
Not me either.
Yeah,
And,
so he unshoes himself.
and then Kohai gets onto the sleeping surface as well.
Wait, no. No. He takes off your foot covering.
Wait. Okay, so he
According
flops-
to the
okay,
grammar of the situation, he literally
Hang on.
flops onto the bed, takes off his own shoes, reaches down after sitting down, quote again, basically.
Gets into a sitting position
Uh-huh.
and then goes to
No, but it says this. He does it again. Okay,
Well,
so
the thing is,
part
okay,
of the
hold on,
problem
hold on.
of having grab. Okay, no. Let me.
Okay.
So part of the reason that there's a grammar problem in this situation is your character is talking about having a ear experience where they are able to hear the noise, basically of what Asra's doing, finagling. They're guessing pretty
And not
strongly
seeing.
and not seeing. And the thing is that there is so much basically he, him, blah blah blah. It's referencing Asra. I'm going, okay, then we're still talking about Asra, who is already on the bed, who apparently chooses to plop and assume a sitting position again.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make any fucking sense because then it's like, I mean, I think it's an I is missing here.
or something, because there really is the sentence is like, Asra do this with his foot coverings, and then takes a seat on the surface he was laying on, and goes to help Kohai
Take
get their
off.
foot coverings off.
Yeah, take their footies off.
But it also switches to it looks like it's just got like a typo in here.
Yeah.
But the way the subject of the sentence is, Asra does both of these actions, but it seems like Kohai should be doing the second one.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
And then Kohai lets us know for the first time that our foots are in pain.
Our feeties
Are
experiencing
uncomfortable?
ache.
Yeah, our peats are uncomfortable.
Yep.
And we just really notice it now that we don't have anything on them.
I guess the thing is also like, so you sort of flop back, but you don't go all the way down, so you're resting on your arms.
Like on your
On the point
just
of your arm,
propped
the
up a little
L
bit.
of your arm.
just propped up a little bit.
Because you're not really positive. But I'm like, yeah, I think that actually means that there was an I missing there, and I also
Do this.
sit on the bed and I remove my own footies.
Covers,
Foot
not the whole
covers.
not the
Yeah,
whole footy.
I know.
Don't remove your entire footy.
Yeah, please
and
don't.
it does suggest that suddenly Kohai is not
Nervous.
confident. Confident.
Lacks surety.
So we've already joined him in the bed previously and took a nap there.
Yep.
But now suddenly Kohai is not confident about doing the same.
Which I don't know why. And then Asra, for some damn reason, while laying back on the bed, is just like, oh my god, I observe that indeed we have only taken a nap earlier.
For like 2 days.
How is you?
All we have done, like he finally brings out the elephant in the room that I keep mentioning about the fact they didn't sleep for basically a day and a half.
Uh-huh.
And then
Then they took a really brief...
they took a nap and
Yeah.
then didn't sleep for a whole nother day.
Yeah.
So we are real good at the not sleep and also not mentioning
Also,
it.
especially... Okay, so I kind of wonder how, like, Kohai or any main character would be, responding to... So you go from basically a city by the sea, lots of humidity, to a desert.
Yep.
I'm sorry, girls and gals and NB pals? How the fuck are we feeling? Because I gotta tell you, I would be messed up.
I say when I move to a really dry place, it usually takes like a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
But the drier the place, the more I get like stuffy or sinuses, the more I get dry skin and desperately need chapstick, the more water I need to drink.
Yeah.
Like when I've been in California, I never use chapstick. I never need moisturizer. I never have like itchy or dry skin. When I've been in Southern California where my dad lives. And when I am in Colorado, God, I need those things. It's too dry.
Oh, God.
Also,
right.
I've never gotten a sinus infection or like dry and stuffily, itchy nose in Southern California, but definitely in Colorado.
Yes.
But he finally indicates that we have not done the unconscious thing much at all and wonders after our comfort.
Yes.
And Kohai observes that indeed
In their own brain, doesn't respond to him.
doesn't answer him at all.
No, not at all. This is an internal process of going, the weight is upon me.
I'm so tired.
And yet, sleep. I do not wish to do the snooze. The button is not one to be hit because, like, oh my God, have you seen outside? The moon is beautiful and radiant. Like,
there's just all these like contrasts of light and dark all over.
Specifically,
you,
Asra.
actually. Now that I see that it is nighttime and the orb in the sky is just shining into this place.
I mean, you could say it's a moon.
I know, but that sounds more fun.
A lunar
Sky
experience. Sky orb.
Sky orb.
The night sky orb that receives its light from the sun.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it is that the way the illumination is entering the room, it just freaking highlights all the great things about him and makes him look gorgeous.
It just
like wow.
And also, it's a very specific term for like describing
him being absolutely relaxed, but also appealing, looking attractive.
I love that. Then instead, so your character actually goes on to say out loud that they are chilly.
Yeah, so
a bit chill.
So he goes,
teeny chill.
Hey, what is your state like? And you think
because we have not gotten any good rest at all. How are you doing?
And you think all of these things, and then you just say, "Burr."
I mean, a burr.
I'm just burr. And
Asra's like, "Oh, burr,
burr,
burr. You should have told me earlier." But it's more that it's an inquiry after. Well, why not earlier speak this thing to me?
Is there a reason you didn't tell me?
Right? What?
And so...
Instead, Asra just hug. He hugs to warm.
Asra grabs me. And
yes.
I am suddenly completely in the bed. And he is petting me to make me cozy.
It's very much that, rubby, you're a rub, I make you warm.
Just like... It suggests that fast rubbing that you would get if you're trying to make friction heat, but it then immediately describes it in a way that sounds much slower.
I was about to say, yeah, like it doesn't feel like a very action-oriented...
Like a soft, smooth, like just stroking to make warm. I think very much that I am getting more warm by being snuggled up against him than I am by being gently stroked on by his...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Asra inquires, going... How is that, basically? And he's going like, I do need you to know that we are in a desert and that when the big a day orb goes down, it get cold real fast, which is actually true, not of all deserts, but a very common characteristic of many of them.
That a lot of them are super hot in the day and then it gets cold pretty quickly at night
unless
it releases tons of heat.
You're in the Arctic. Which is that it's also incredibly dry, but it's so that's one of those things. Deserts are actually very diverse things, so you have to know exactly what you're talking about.
A desert is defined by nothing other than how much rainfall it gets, how much water is there. And so, yeah, you can have cold or hot or mid-temperature deserts. It's just a desert is lack of water.
Yep.
All right, but anyway, yeah, he's like, you gotta watch out because once there's no light anymore, burr.
And Astra's just, I'm not sure if he's sort of like, it might be a little bit of a tease or maybe like a sort of reprimand to himself of going like, God, I wasn't even aware. Like, because I need you to know, and now I flirt with you, that, God, I have been a little cozy and comfy ever since we had food in our faces. And then, of course, who we did the ride on the back of the beastie.
When we were on the beastie traveling.
I got to grasp you.
To the little house, and I just cuddled you the entire way in kind of my lap, because I assume once you pick a posture, you just stay that way forever. Mm-hmm. You only now ride this way, because you don't get options of how to sit next time.
I know.
If you sat in front once, that's where you will always be.
Hang on, I'm wondering actually what happens, like, if, like, you sat behind him initially.
And I loved just, snuggling you the whole time.
And you go, oh, you put me in front of you this time. Because I imagine they didn't go, honestly, into that much depth. Like, unfortunately, I don't think they really changed.
Okay, so that's a really good point. If you chose, I'm going to sit behind him, and then you got to this scene, and he suddenly describes just, wrapping you close to him and pressing against you the entire ride.
But that's specifically coming back from the small little
specifically,
village.
I know, so not very long.
Yeah.
But still, you'd think it would be a big thing for your character to suddenly be like, I am in his arms and in front of him.
Especially because they made a big thing about it before.
About what
and then
choose.
For it to suddenly just go, and then I held you like this, you're like, wait, when did we do that? Oh my God, why didn't you tell me?
Why didn't I react? Yeah, so that's an interesting one for me. Of going...
I think it's super funny. Okay, so I've had a weird observation, and I actually mentioned it to my friend a little bit before this, but I thought I would kind of say this out loud, is that for being, quote, a romance mystery novel, visual novel, there's not a lot of, like, romance tropes. Like, for example, there's not a lot of will they, won't they, at least particularly in this route, and, like, Nadia's route is definitely not a will they, won't they. You just
just
immediately
you
end up in a
are.
relationship. And, like, Julian's is like, oh, no, it actually has more aggressive will they, won't they, which so it fit better, which also I think is why it was much more comedic to me, was because it felt more like the ridiculousness of that, you know, kind of thing where you could go fuck around and have an actual adventure.
One of the big things, that I've noticed in most romance stories that I've read, it's like, are they going to get together or not? Will they solve this problem or not? Will they get close or not? You know, will they finally make a connection or not?
Is it going to happen?
And here, it feels very much like, we've already made it, you're just going to have to get to the conclusion of it.
Right? Well, and I think that is very interesting in light of the fact that, okay, so this is, I would say, the, quote, most mysterious route of
Because there's the least amount of exposition in here.
But also, like, it's giving us the most information, and it's actually tried to kind of pace you as a mystery. So I would say probably this one has worked better as a mystery, and the other two have worked better. Well, actually, I wouldn't really say that at all. I honestly would say Julian's had worked better as a romance.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Nadia's was kind of odd, because it was a, let's deliberately build a relationship, except for after establishing that clearly and vocally, we will never discuss it ever again. It will be assumed we are in a profoundly meaningful relationship, period.
Right.
Anyway, so he comments on just having himself wrapped around you and you close to him, the entire trip back from where you returned from Sawaro's place of dwelling.
Right.
And then,
and Asra's just like, you know what?
So
I'm incredibly toasty. You should come here because I have so much to share. Basically,
I can give you all the warmth you require.
Hey, baby.
If you cold, just.
So honestly, I think it's more benign than that. Like, I'm being a little teasy just because you can't see it, but I am trying to exaggerate it a bit just for the comedy.
I do get the sense, though, that it's like, after being that close to you, I am just fired up. I am on. And then kind of just going to that soft flirt of going, so, if you want
Also,
any of that warmth, come
well,
over
also,
here.
like, some level of it, so particularly with ending with that, like, it's basically, that's how much, like, it's necessity, basically, so you continue to exist, right? There's almost a sense of going, I can provide for you. Have as much as is necessary.
I get that, but I also hit a trope in here of going, what do you say when you're desperate for someone, when you really want them, you need them?
Yeah.
And so he's going... he's basically doing a sort of a double statement of, I will provide you with whatever warmth you require.
Double entendre.
I was just saying, but he's also going, you can have whatever you want.
Yes.
I am available to you.
Yes.
And in that way, it's kind of charming, with as closed off as he's been and as distant as he's been.
And also, like,
I was gonna say, and the fact that he is the one setting all the limits at all times and defining most of the situations.
Right.
In this case, he's suddenly like, I'm available, you get to choose. And that's kind of wild for me.
Yeah.
And, but, like, Kohai,
not taking
Kohai just
serious
giggles. Like, just like,
even though there is...
when there is a wrapping tighter and snuggling, nearer. And Kohai...
And Kohai's just like, I
is
cuddle
indicated
into your throat.
without specifying to be short. Because their head lands at his throat.
I don't think it necessarily does.
No, the thing is, it could be that he is higher up on the bed and they are lower down on the bed. But given the previous things of you always are down here at basically collarbone height, now that he is cuddling you as essentially I'm trying to wrap you completely in my warmth, if you are as tall as him or taller than him, your head doesn't land there.
Yeah. I mean, you could also say, though, that, like, without going into too much detail, that the character, like, wiggles or scoots so they can kind of, like, snuggle into the neck kind of situation, the crook there.
I know, but, like, also, if he's trying to warm you, why wouldn't he snuggle his neck into yours?
I know.
To make you more warm.
Rude.
And anyway...
all he do is hug you harder. Not saying that hugging harder isn't bad.
I take this as your, the top of your character being put beneath his jaw is like, it's because you're wrapped all the way in and he's the big spoon and actually is larger than you. And now, I only take it that way specifically because the game has set it up so much that you seemingly are always looked down upon, reached down to, and are...
Though we did actually kind of mention that Asra was the one that sort of resisted it the longest.
It was less direct.
And
right.
like Nadia and Julian, holy
Then, there is there is a definite descriptor that he is taking his hands and just petting the side of, like, Kohai's face along, the bone. And Kohai's leaning into it.
And then actually
also-
takes his fingertips and decides to move your head up so that you will stare into each other's beautiful, glorious
so you can
eyes.
gaze into each other's endless depths.
Yes.
Ugh.
And then he sort of looks a little bit embarrassed.
Not spooning because you're facing him. So there you are.
Okay, that's fair.
Uh-huh.
And then actually, Asra seems a little bit like this portrait is a little bit like, I'm kind of embarrassed, and I'm actually very...
A little nervous.
Because even what he says is going like, you were giggling at me. I am actually being genuine. It's like, I really... Like, let me be explicit. All the things that I have, no matter what they are, I will give them to you without question.
Yeah, so
Please.
he's then more explicit about his consent for you to do anything you would like. Like,
To have
like,
whatever you want.
We are making this very strong eye contact. I am indicating to you that when I said this, and I gave you my consent to, have access to my body and its resources, as it were, I am specifying again that it wasn't a joke, even if it sounds silly, and it wasn't, even if it was surprising. You really can do whatever you like with
because he has been one, which actually I think is interesting here, because this does actually feel sort of like a character awareness, that I am really indirect, I don't really be very specific about what I'm saying. Like, this actually feels like in line with, I'm aware that I don't share a lot of myself.
I know who I am and how I interact, and so I need to specify again, rather than just letting it roll off. Also, there's another sort of double entendre thing here of like, whereas there's the one of going, need, and now there is take. Because you always have the, take me, I'm yours. And basically this is Astra going, really, take me, I'm yours.
And actually that's correct. And if you wanted to take that, I guess, in a more erotic sense, but I feel like Astra's not quite there.
I don't know that he's necessarily going for sex, because he knows that Kohai isn't super experienced, but he is going for whatever you would like to do, please do so.
Yeah, well, I was like, again, it's the thing is just whatever it is, that includes intimacy, that includes sexual encounters.
Whatever.
It's all yours.
And he's just
That's what I want with you.
I'm open.
I want you to pluck them from me.
It's also interesting that he seems to be saying, like, I want you to lead this situation and you to choose.
Which is so funny because he literally won't let us really do much of anything. And then when he sets us up, it seems patronizing. Anyway.
So, Kohai is really just like, a bit like stunned with
going, how
he is looking at us and the sincerity of his expression. And there is a lot of like doki in their with their
in their body.
In their body, just like I have so much the thunderous
the
rhythm.
Rib cage is trembling with the force of the beats of my heart.
Pulse goes crazy. And so there is the option to then choose between two things. One of them indicates that the thing you require immediately right now is to sleep. And the other one is the thing you require immediately right now is just him.
Now here's the question. In a situation like this, considering that the only other time that you have fallen asleep in this scenario, because this is just me kind of thinking, because we also do these in, like, sometimes greatly apart from each other, so I just try to remind us of where we are.
Yeah.
So we did just have a dream the last time we went to sleep that was like, every time you guys are, like, you guys are getting too close and this is bad. And it was a scary, bad dream. Would you at all think of that, do you think? Based on everything else that has happened, Asra has been upset, and now he's being weirdly sincere with you in a way that has shocked and vulnerable, in a way that has literally physically shocked your character. Not like, oh my god, I'm stunned, but it was like, this is so intense. Would that sort of bring your mind back? Because this seems way more serious.
So for me,
and not as like non-committal or
I get that.
wheedling around.
It doesn't seem like Kohai or the MC has had any connection to the dream after that initial, whoa, what was that? They haven't referenced it, thought about it, mentioned they felt uneasy, mentioned that it was weighing on their mind, mentioned that they were concerned about anything. It doesn't seem to have affected them strongly at all. Because even if it's something of, well, I kind of forgot about it moving through the day, there is writing conventions of calling back to it, indicating that something feels off, indicating that you're concerned, because, you aren't sure this is going to go well, even if it doesn't refer directly to the dream, but oftentimes it'll be like, I wonder if this is the right choice because of that dream, if it was important to you. And if it's never referenced at all, it often means it didn't have much of an impact on the character.
The problem is, why I bring it up as well, is simply because, so unfortunately, due to the way that the story is written, there is also a level of going, well, we want you to remember things that, quote, your character won't. You have to decide what's important. You have to metagame. Now, on a level, even though they're like, here, have this experience, read a novel, but it's still like, we still need you, though, to remember details that we also want you to... I don't know how to...
I get it.
It is very much that, here's the first-person perspective, but also we expect the player to also be active, which is a weird...
And to be choosing things based on the knowledge they have gathered, not just what the character knows. Yes, so it's separating player-character knowledge, which is really important in most role-playing situations, where it's like, if your character doesn't know this, you need to interact with their actions based on that lack of knowledge, even if it would be dangerous or harmful to them.
Yes.
I would say, and in this case, it is very much, the game is going, you get to know these things, so you get to choose whatever you want based on that knowledge, not trying to separate the two.
Right.
I say, and in this case, my first response isn't either of these things with the Kohai, which often happens with me when I play a character. It's very much more, would be a sort of thing of, I just want to be with you right now. Or, can you just hold me? Or let's just stay like this. You know, that thing where you just want to sort of crystallize a moment. If you're just calm and comfortable and close to each other, and you're warm, and you're being intimate and vulnerable, and you're also tired, really freaking tired, then you just go, I just want things to stay like this. And it's that soft moment where the person who was then going, anything you want, and you go, what you want is just more of exactly what you have. And there's kind of that, you know, and going, I was seeing if more was required. I was also putting out what I'm interested in or willing to be or do based on my own experience with relationships and how they go.
Right.
Anyway, I don't feel like Kohai would be like, the thing I require most is to go to sleep. I feel like it would be something more like,
it would be a mix. It seems very silly.
Sleep together.
Yes.
It would be, I'm tired, you know, I'm feeling tired, I've gotten drowsy. It's that sort of, you look lovingly into their eyes, and they've just done this whole thing, and you just snuggle your face up next to theirs, and you say, let's sleep together.
Like, the thing is it's interesting to my brain, because every single time the writing in this tries to create a dichotomy, it seems so aggressive.
This also seems, this one
is a shutdown, and the other one is, oh my god, you know, you, like, I don't mean it's always like that.
So this one moment feels very much like all of the advertisements you see for every romance game, where it's like, kiss him passionately, slap him in the face, where it's like, bring him in, or slam the door in his face, or it's like, tell him you love him, so you never want to see him again. It's extremely dichotomized, and it feels like a very strong choice about the relationship.
Now, if I was going to read this differently, it could also be, you're going like, you can have whatever you want of me. You'd just be like, I just want you. And it doesn't say that you're not going to go to sleep anyway, right? And the other one is just going like, you want to give me so many my dude.
We're both tired.
I love you.
Tired.
Like, I think this is obvious, but like, you know what, Asra? I don't want you to take anything from you right now.
Just sleep.
Just, can we sleep? Like, you could read them like that.
See, and I feel like Kohai, based on the words here, and would be more like, it's really hard to choose, because Kohai was like, he's like, one of these days we'll have time, and Kohai's like, we have time now. Time to spend time with each other. And napping is a form of spending time with each other, or sleeping, but not in like the same way as other things, but also saying, I desperately require yourself.
Yes.
Is not the same as I just want to be with you.
No, I agree, so I don't know either.
So I'm having this, anyway, I don't feel like it would be, my requirement is sleep. I think it would be like, I would like to sleep next to you. Somewhere in there. So we're going to go with the sleep option, because in our own interpretation of the story, we have not slept hardly at all for 2.5 days.
Right.
I guess it's just 2 full days, because it was the morning at NADIA'S, then all the way through the day and all the way through the night, and then we took a short nap this morning, and it's all the way through another day. So just 2 full days and a night we haven't slept except for a small nap. So I think it's one of those things of, as soon as you lay down, you realize how fucking tired you really are. You weren't thinking about it when you were on your feet, you weren't thinking about it when you were trying to do magic and stuff, and of course you were just excited about being wrapped up in Asra on the way back on the beast, and also just this whole big thing just happened, and your mind is full, so you can't get sleepy, and so I think it would be like sleep.
Okay.
So
I need to sleep.
And there's Kohai going, what I think would be best would be to sleep.
And I snooze. And Asra's just like, you know what?
Me too. Me as well.
My this place, yes. Marvelous.
Hey, let us do that. Please, Gib.
please, it's very important. And it goes like, oh my god, can we, and so like Asra's like,
Can we
okay,
use the
can I need
blankets?
to roll over? Like, can we just snuggle under the blankets? Because damn, actually, you know what? Chilly.
Despite offering you all the warmth that I have and saying I am toasty as fuck for you, which also might be like, I am for you.
I'm a little hot for you, but like
hot
you
for
turn
you.
me, you turn me
You
on.
warm
You
me
excite
up.
me.
Yes.
And then
It
there's
is
a level
now-
where like, you know what? I am actually also really tired.
Now
like,
that you have turned down for what I offered, turned down for what? You know what? It kind of chilly.
Well, like I also said, I don't think it was just an offer for like you can have an intimate relationship.
It was
with me
also
right now.
you are safe to choose anything.
Yeah.
I will not judge you. You can choose whatever you want, even sleep,
Yes.
or to get up and leave, or whatever it is.
And you're just like, bruh.
You're like, wow, we both tired.
Blah.
And so Kohai gets out of the way so that Asra can remove, like take the blankets out of underneath both of you and get you guys into the actual, like, inside of the bed, between the inner coverings.
Yes.
And so he...
And there is
he
a note
scoots in
that they're
first.
actually a little chilly.
Yeah, that's a little cold, I was going to say. And he scoots in first, and then it leaves space. Like,
And then
like,
squiggles gently to the side so
Going-
that, you can come in
you
next
can
to him.
totally fit in here, too.
Mm-hmm.
And Kohai indicates, much as I designed their character, and this makes me happy, that it is completely...
In their nature.
I was gonna say, just impulsive and absolutely comfortable. It is almost instinct for them to move close to him and to be near him. So there's this description that just snuggling into each other and just touching and petting each other is absolutely something that comes naturally to Kohai. And does that.
This is a part of their experience. And actually, there's this thing of Kohai's like, okay, and now I'm instantly starting to
fall
pass
asleep.
the fuck out. There's apparently Asra has enough energy to sit here and take his fingertip and go and basically
Doodle.
draw on your shoulder. Doodle.
Do not touch. Tickly.
I tickle.
No touch.
Which honestly, probably I think Kohai would be like, it tickles, stop.
It
Because
could
also
be.
if he's tired and you're loo, you'd be like, dude,
Very, very softly, the gentle tickles on your skin, and you're just like, I have no consciousness, all I have is sensory.
Yeah, he's doing sleepy doodles.
But it explains...
on your, I guess, quote, because the only thing reason I can really imagine you do that is be like exposed shoulder, because I don't know how many times I've been like, I will pet a person that I've been involved with, like, doodle on their clothes.
I
don't
don't think I've ever just drawn on someone affectionately with, like, my hand.
know.
But then it says that Kohai is so much focusing on this experience of him sort of doodling on their back, that they nearly don't notice that he speaks.
Yeah. And Asra's sort of like lamenting to himself, and it almost sounds sort of like a reproach here of going like, God, how would this be possible?
Going,
for me to return you back to where I just took you from.
yes, in what way could I possibly justify?
In what way could I possibly justify returning you back to a place that I tried to take you from?
That I've just worked so hard to get you away from.
Yes.
And he just kind of trails off, and it does sound very, like, thoughtful introspective. And it is that kind of thing of going, it's a strong rhetorical statement.
Because he is mostly he's tired, he's talking to himself, and then he, like, is talking to you, and I
Questions
imagine he
again.
assumes, basically, that you're more or less asleep, and it's just like, because that would basically result in me putting you in a position
Harm's way.
Yeah, I'd put you in harm's way. Why would I ever think of,
you don't even know what the
returning you
risks
to harm's
are.
ways? And it's just, and then it's also like, he's like, actually, I don't even know what the risks are. Like, I have no idea. Like, what am I doing?
Like, what is the weight, gravity, and basically implication of doing this thing? I left because I knew it wasn't good, but I can't actually measure it. And so, this...
I wish he would tell you this. Again, the thing, okay,
I mean,
I understand sometimes that
quietly saying it out loud.
No, but, okay, so one of the things is I've run into a lot of characters who go, because, okay, so it's a behavior based on my exposure where people go, I don't actually want to talk to you, I just kind of hope you'll overhear it because I'm ashamed or I'm embarrassed. You don't actually have a very good relationship with you, and you have a sort of imbalanced relationship, as we've observed, where you're non-communicative and you just hope the other person fucking figures it out. So in this case, again, and I'm not saying this makes Asra a bad character, but it's fascinating how fucking indirect he is, where I'm like, you're hoping, I imagine, that the character you're talking to, the main character, will hear you instead of just talking to them about this shit. And it's again where I say that it feels very patronizing and very controlling, where it's like, do you see me as a partner or am I truly just still your apprentice?
Well,
basically, because I'm going, if you're going to tell the character that that you're not my apprentice, I'm like, then fucking stop acting like it.
Or, the thing is they may not be your apprentice, but you're treating them like a ward.
Yeah.
Like it's something you are caretaking for, something you're in charge of.
Something also that's like weirdly differently abled to a capacity that you're like, you just could never understand. And I get how it's you. And I get how that can be used as a romantic trope, but I've always found it to be irritating in a lot of stories where you're like, my dude.
Now, the thing my friend is actually going after here is something I've experienced a lot as a passive-aggressive behavior.
Yes.
Now, he's not using it that way here, but where somebody just mutters something under their breath when you're walking away, and if you hear it and understand it, you're totally permitted by them to interact.
Yes.
But if you say, what, you're not allowed a second chance.
Yes.
And
even if you might have heard part of it, and you go, so, wait, what did you say?
There is
and they just
nothing.
Go, nothing, and you're just like, and that's...
But if you hear it, you are permitted to interact with the information. So you get one vague chance.
Angry, muttery, you know.
Now, and the other one of that is just going I'm so afraid to communicate with you. I will only say important things when you're distantly aware that I'm speaking and you have very little, and you're not likely to be listening, sort of whispering the deep secrets of the world when you're mostly asleep.
Yeah.
And you may or may not hear them, and they may or may not, you may not or may not have knowledge of what was actually said, but if you heard it, then you have all that power, and great, that's awesome. I don't have to engage with it at all.
Right,
and I didn't have to feel vulnerable.
Yes.
And direct.
And we've actually dealt with that in stories before, and like I said, it can make Asra a really interesting character, and I keep going, yeah.
Then he ponders that, and queries the basically... idea of returning and the fear that it might not go well and what that might mean.
It's sort of an open-ended, like, not even completed thought, really. It's just sort of this idea of going like, God, and if I return you, and the bad thing, whatever that happens,
then what? And Kohai then indicates that this is all said very quietly. And now he stops, and then just grips more tightly and scoots in, and Kohai, who had their eyes open, as soon as they blink, just poof, not conscious.
Yeah, just drifted off on the waves.
Into dreamland.
Yep, it is.
And we actually enter dreamland.
Explicitly.
And it's like Kohai specifically, this is me asleep, having an experience in my head.
And also, this is very much a very dramatic scene, because it is literally the top of a very, like, a mountain.
Oh, right.
That is a mountain. And this is a jagged, massive, very poetic, mountain.
And Kohai is just looking from the top into the distance below them. And then
a voice that we're not actually supposed to fucking know the name of, but
is given Muriel's name nonetheless. Because we've never met him in this game. Well, I mean,
we met him in
the prologue, but did he introduce himself?
Of course not. And also, we've forgotten about him.
That's fair, right? Because you have to forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, so mysterious voice that we know as Muriel then is just like
complains again, going like, God,
admonishes you
once more
that no one else is here, and saying like you've already been in a space where you are alone together, and it's happening again the same way.
God damn it, you're a couple again.
And it's very.
It occurred once more.
It seems like it's very much like. And then
Kohai's like, "Aw,
excuse me?
Except
is there someone there? Greetings?
Hi?
Yeah, it's a very like, hi?
Who's yelling at me?
There's a bonjour?
Even though I honestly honestly don't think Muriel is yelling. It's just, like, you could just...
It's like there's a voice. It's a clear voice that's right next to you. And then it's Kohai had really believed that they were the only person here, but this deep and just very
rumbling rock voice, earthy and powerful,
is
just
right
clambering.
Is right, they need to turn around because it's right there.
Like, whoa!
At their back.
Uh-huh.
And then we actually see Muriel's sprite.
Which I imagine, actually, that means that you did turn around.
It doesn't say that, but it suddenly shows him.
I know,
And then
like I said, I am...
Muriel is just like... there's nothing important in all of existence except for the passage of basically your experience, but moving forward into the future.
I don't think so. It's just going basically going, everything else is inconsequential, because eventually this is going to happen.
Oh, no, I see that. Okay, I missed that. It's like, he's indicating, all other experiences do not matter at all, because an inevitable thing is on its way.
Exactly.
Got it, thank you.
Yes.
And that's really what he's saying, yeah. But he pauses between. He seems very I am resigned to this suck-ass thing that will happen.
And I'm like, why won't you?
And then Kohai's like, there is a huge dude who is not facing me and I can't see the front of.
Actually, what I'm doing is looking at, I guess,
cloak.
What is what I assume to be where the spine and shoulders, I guess that's your butt? I don't know what I'm looking at.
Turns around, is a short character. That's booty.
Because he's huge. You'd be like, that
Except
is
for
ass.
Kohai is not short, and so it's like, I see the back of a cloak.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
I see a cloak.
And then also there is much just grumbling
And then
under
he's
the breath.
doing the blah, 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 blah. You don't get to hear what I'm saying, too. And
It sounds
he's
a little
throwing
bit...
rocks.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've picked up...
And casually throwing rocks. Doesn't matter whether or not he's picked them up, it's a dream. Yeah, so
The Angie
he's
throw.
sitting there and just talking under his breath and just throwing rocks. Apparently they weren't that close together, because despite being it's right to the rear of me, I have to go over to it.
Based on that line, did that mean then that the rocks were metaphors? Like a metaphor for the angry words he's throwing out over the earth?
Maybe.
Because, okay, so then it's going... So Kohai decides to go forward because apparently they want to uncover what the rocks...
Are stating.
Are stating, basically, because they want to be able to actually understand what's being said.
And
Because
specifically,
it's not very...
I want to comprehend auditorily what's going on.
Which
what's being
makes
conveyed.
me wonder, again, I'm like, so does that mean the rocks are metaphors for
Because it
Muriel
specifically
angry,
So it's either the rocks are speaking,
which is it's a dream, so it's possible.
or Muriel is speaking, and it's not super clear. But Kohai wants to sort it out. And Muriel is when we're like, I want to know more, Muriel is just flat out denied.
Yeah.
Rejected.
Well, it's negative.
Yes, negative.
Because I don't know what it's actually about.
And then there's the negative response of you don't get to, and then specifically, you don't get to right now in this experience.
Or now that I guess whatever happened before, because it sounds like basically, this seems like what happened before was bad. I do not wish this event to occur again, and I'm going to do about it, but without so many words. It's just I won't allow what happened before to happen again.
Yes, if you spoke to me before, or found out information before, or paid more attention before, it's not going to happen now. And so then Kohai indicates that Muriel just switches... About faces, just spins around, and is super tall, because dreaming, he can be as tall as he wants.
Yep.
And is just towering.
But it's akin to a grizzly.
Towering over Kohai.
It's so fucking
much
large.
like a grizzly.
And Kohai is like, okay, I am this big.
I feel tiny on top of this, this peak.
And Muriel actually is just talking to you, and sort of talking, I think, kind of past you into previous experiences. I'm not sure he's really talking.
And it's solid a statement of, I'm not going to permit you to vanish with each other.
Yes.
Period.
Or in that way of connecting back to the previous stream of, I'm no longer going to basically allow you to get enraptured so hard with each other that you cease to be, whatever that means.
And specifically I'm going to prohibit this experience.
Yeah.
It will be me who stops you guys from vanishing with each other.
He goes, you prohibited from disappearing.
Because of me.
I refuse it. I will not allow that to happen.
Uh-huh. And so then Kohai wakes up really suddenly. Like,
It's
and there's a movement. And then buries their face
I was like,
against Asra. And then...
and into his curly fluffs.
and into the soft white fluff.
And like,
On his
apparently Kohai can just snap right back to
And then
sleep,
just poof
too.
back to sleep, but does not return to any more kinds of visions in their head.
God, if I had a dream like that, I'd be like, what the fuck? I need to go get water.
Like, I need to something. I'm gonna go have an existential crisis in the kitchen like Nerd did.
That was really weird.
Okay, and again, referring to Julian's route, because
It's very
the
fucking
existential crisis in the kitchen was hilarious.
Oh, well, and now we're out of the scene!
Oh, we're out of
Hey!
scene! So, the beast is curled up in a familiar way on top of a low hill nearby where Asra and I go to wake it. Because we didn't wait, we just jumped, we've done a short hop from I fell asleep again last night to ta-da!
Ta-da!
And we're gonna go look at the art that you guys have been seeing because we haven't seen it yet.
We have not!
Okay. Oh no, that's so snuggly! That's adorable!
Oh, he's so kawaii.
And it is just very snuggled into the chin or neck area. That is cute.
Oh.
I love the endless bed. Nothing matters but the two of you.
bed.
So just the bed is just an endless space that is not, indicated in any way because what matters is the cuddles.
Aww.
That's cute. I love the lighting too.
I do too.
Like, I don't know how you would light it in the dark purple light that's
I know.
indicated.
I know.
So this is very charming. And this could totally be like the, in the morning cuddled up together or anything, but that's cute.
I'm like, that's very cuddly.
Yep.
Oh, I really also still Draconisha. I really, really like the way that you decided to do the little cute cheeks.
The simple chibi style that you're deliberately using is very charming.
Yeah, I love the crap out of it.
Yep.
So
in the
anyway,
meantime,
we're actually out of time, but thank you very much, everybody, actually, for joining us. If you like what we do, or you would also like to support Draconisha, please also feel free to comment on the video telling them that you think it's awesome. You can subscribe, you can share the content, you can go check down any of Draconisha's links in the description down below. You can also go check out our links to our Ko-Fi, Patreon, and our Twitch. And honestly, I think they would really love to see you there, and we would love to see you over at our location as well. So have a good one. I have been Scandal, and we'll see you in the next one.
and I have been Lies.
And it was
great playing with you.
Bye!